Now, I'm curious what you thought about this piece. New York Magazine, we need a free press, but do we need the free press? Which was a lengthy study on Barry Weiss's website. Did you read it? What did you think?
I did read it, and I thought it was a good profile. This is by Jonathan Chait in New York Magazine. And the key paragraph, and where I disagree with him, is he says, the trouble with the free press surfaces when you stop judging it as a corrective to blind spots in the progressive worldview and begin judging it as a worldview in and of itself. While it bills itself merely as a throwback to the abandoned creed of objective reporting, built on the ideals that were once the bedrock of American journalism, quote unquote, the free press does have a worldview. It reflects the frustrations of college-educated moderates, disproportionately Jewish, in big cities and other enclaves of progressive America. But those frustrations, while often grounded in reality, ignore the vast swaths of reality outside blue America. And I think he's right and he's wrong in that, of course, the free press exists and has succeeded because it's a corrective to the blind spots
Yeah.
of the mainstream media. And the same is true of the Washington Free Beacon and the other, right of center news outlets that have had any success. I think but I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
And he seems to be objecting to the branding. I'm not sure if he would still object were they not branding themselves as like a down the middle objective news outlet. So he's objecting to the branding built on the ideals that were once the bedrock of American journalism. Okay, that can still be true, and you can still be a right of center news outlet. The truth with an outlet like the Free Press or the Free Beacon is that, like, we are not 500 employees. So we have to be more selective in what we cover by definition because we are tiny little newsrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, are going to fill the blank spaces left by the mainstream media for now. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being an ideological outlet or having an ideological mission. So I think he's right that the branding's a little bit misleading. Of course, they're ideological, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think it's a useful corrective.
He writes, to build a worldview entirely in reaction to the excesses of one side is to eventually cooperate with the excesses of the other. The boomer neocons who began with revulsion at campus radicals wound up linking arms with the radical right. At some point, Weiss will stop denying that she is engaged in a political project and recognize that she has become a conservative, newly. I don't know what Barry Weiss calls her. I don't know whether she calls herself a conservative or not.
She doesn't.
But I guess I look at it this way. Chait is chafed because he feels like she's not having to take ownership of what's wrong with the right and is focused on attacking the left, and that he's calling, as they would say, he's calling her out. He took to Twitter to call her out, and I get that, but I think of the free press as conservative, or if not conservative, as anti-liberal, and I don't know. Everybody's just going to do their thing. I think the free press. I hear from a lot of young people that they really like the free press and that they're really into it, and I think it's influential, and I think it will continue to be important. But it's not a. I don't know it well enough. I don't think it holds itself out as an all-in-one encompassing news source, right? I don't think that the free press would say.
Definitely not.
I don't think I don't know, but I don't think they would say like your one-stop shop for news. I think it's a point of view that they have, which is sort of in the Glenn Greenwaldian. There's a universe of Matt Taibbi, sort of iconoclastic. We're attacking the liberal establishment, and I think of this very much as part of that.
I think that's right. But using real reporting, the tools of the trade of reporting to do it, which is different from most of the rest of right-wing media.
And I think that's very much what the Dispatch is trying to do, right? I think the Dispatch is trying to marshal real reporting, and is there a point of view at the Dispatch? Obviously. But I think an important thing, whether it's the Free Press, whether it's the Dispatch, whether it's your gang at the Beacon, the idea that the actual reporting has to be done. It's not sufficient for the American right to be like good gag cat turd LOLZ, right? Writing pieces about Oreo cookies dangers as child groomers is not that. That's just being a leech, right? You're living off of the work of other people. Real reporting has to be done, so do it.